Welcome to RedArmy.tv. We've got a couple of Red Army virgins on the couch tonight. Got to say hi to the guys. Dave Hughes from Dave Hughes Driver Training, the man who keeps the Borough players safe. We might tell you more a bit later on. And also Kevin Burns, big Borough fan from Bishop Auckland College.
That's right, Dave.
Welcome, fellas. We've got to start in a rather gay fashion, I'm afraid. So come on, pick up your white pieces of paper. This is taking us back to Fulham. Okay. What were they doing? Lovely. Come on, you mighty Reds. Yeah, I don't know what all that... Did any of you guys see all
No,
all
I never
that?
saw it, no.
The fans at Craven Cottage were all given one of these as they came in. And rather than cheer the fans, cheer the players, they sat there doing this. They get a corner. Do they cheer? No, they do this.
That'd have been quite annoying, was it?
It was quite amusing, actually. I was doing the beanbag at the Riverside. We had
They were
great
fanning the fans.
That's it, yes. Fanning the Fulham Flames.
Oh,
yeah. We could be creative. Anyway, now we're talking Fulham. Let's have a look back there. I know we've got Norwich to come, and we'll do that a bit later on in the show. But Dave, I'll start with you. It was a draw at Fulham. I suppose it's a game we probably could have looked at thinking we should get something out of it, maybe a win. But last minute equaliser, we were quite happy with that, weren't we? Just to pull a point back from the old smoke.
We were lucky to get that, I think, really. From the commentary I was listening to through the radio and things like that, I just think we were very lucky to get that point, to go away with a point. A lot of people who I know and speaking to locally said we weren't as good as we could have been, I think. And like you say, a point was a good result in the end of the day after that sort of game.
Kev, the smoke was always a problem for us, London. So, I mean, are we looking at it positively that... I know we crashed it with Aitor, we broke that hoodoo, but a point from London?
Well, I think it was a bit of a flat performance. Like Dave said, I was listening to it and it wasn't good. And our family listening to it thought we're just going to get a 0-0 draw. And then I think it was at 86th minute, 1-0 down, and we thought we'd lost it. And then big cheer went up a minute later when we got the equaliser. So yeah, we got out of jail, and in the end, I think it was a point on the road is not a bad result. Yeah.
Okay, let's get your views then, because I was doing the commentary at the Riverside. Thanks to everybody who turned up. Actually, it was a half-decent beanback at the Riverside, and we were kicked in the stones just before the end, but then we all celebrated wildly. And these were your thoughts after the game on the Red Army coach.
Didn't play very well, but it's a good point in the end after a poor performance.
Well, we had chances to win the game, but overall, one each fair result. Up the border.
It was the lads' grit and determination to fight back and come from behind. It's a no-lose situation for the Borough at the minute. That give us a point.
Thanks for your views on the Red Army coach, and we are taking a coach, of course, to Barnsley. That's the next away trip for us in the league. We'll give you more details a little later on in the show. Come back to the fellas in the studio. Kev, we were just saying there, to point back from London, you said it was useful. We're getting this reputation now, and I noticed this as I was doing I do homework before we do a commentary. A lot of the national press are saying, you know, Borough are great now, and one of the strengths is coming from behind. We had to do it. We didn't do it against Norwich, and we'll come on to that, but I'm sure we'd rather be in front, wouldn't we, leading from the front?
Totally, and unfortunately we haven't been doing that in too few games. And yet we've got the firepower, haven't we? This team that we've built and the signings that we've made, we were all kind of on a real plus about what the kind of goals that might be in the team. I think it's good. It's good to show. It's good character to come back when you're losing. But you're absolutely right, Dave. Why aren't we on the why aren't we the progressive side going forward and putting the ball in the back of the net first? And that just hasn't happened. And I know we're going to talk about it later, but Norwich was a demonstration of that, really, sadly. So yeah, I think we need to be a bit more direct, need to be even more progressive, and I think eventually, I think we will get the goals, and but we've got to make them as well. At the moment, we've got lots of possession, but I just don't feel we're direct enough in front of goal.
We'll come on to that in but a jiff. Let's get Joe's take. Yeah, Joe Nicholson was down in the smoke with us as well. This was his take of the match after the game at Craven Cottage.
Outside Craven Cottage, following Borough's 1-1 draw with Fulham, where all the action really came in a frantic final 5 minutes. I thought that Fulham probably edged the first half, played some quite nice football, got the ball into some wide areas and forced Borough to do quite a lot of defending, and I thought Borough gave them maybe a little bit too much respect, sat off them a little bit in that first 45 minutes and really struggled to get some support and service up to Britt Assombalonga. But we did create some chances after half time. Patrick Bamford had one which went into the side netting. Marvin Johnson volleyed one at just over, but Fulham took the lead with about 5 minutes to go when a cross from the left hand side was headed in by the Fulham striker Kamara. But Borough responded well though, equalised in around the 87th minute when Cyrus Christie converted a corner and could have actually won the game in the closing stages. Lewis Baker had a late shot which was blocked by a Fulham defender. 1-1 it finished.
Thanks for that, Joe. More from you, of course, as the season progresses. And if you want to get involved with the Red Army, give us your match reports, give us your rants to your phone camera, all that sort of stuff. Get them done and get them into us. You know all the contact details. Dan Gray is watching us live. He's just left us a message saying we didn't have, and he's talking about last night as well. He's talking about the Norwich game. Didn't have that player who can provide the killer pass. Bring back Gaston. Now, I think it's a fair comment. Because I've often looked at it as, great, we've got wingers, but we've got nothing going through the middle. Where do you stand on that, Dave?
Well, I'm the same. I think he's got a point.
I don't want Gaston back,
no,
but somebody like him, yeah.
But I think he's got a point. We need someone like that, a bit more creative in that middle, because we seem to be going out to the wide men, and nothing seems to come through, and it just keeps passing. And there's no one creative enough to actually take anything, forward or pushing them more dynamic and things like that. And I think he's got a point, certainly. I think so.
Is that where we're lacking in the middle?
Yeah, I mean, certainly Traore was our best player, I thought, going forward. And, he was beating 2 and 3 players at times. And I thought that was his best game, since that away game last season against Arsenal. So he was terrific. And I was a bit disappointed that he took him off, actually, because I think as long as he was on the ball and on the pitch, then they were having to double and triple mark him. So I'd like to see him maybe late in the game given a more direct role through the centre. I think he could play that way. I know he brought on Braithwaite, and I like him. He's cunning, he's sly, he's quick. I'd have liked to seen him come on earlier, actually. I think, and obviously Bamford as well, come on sooner, especially when it just wasn't going for us.
Well, he brought on Fletcher, didn't he?
He brought on Fletcher,
which was for Clayton.
Yeah.
And I think I don't think Clayton was very impressed with that.
He wasn't.
But
no.
in the end of the day, he brought him on, and I don't know. Then the Braithwaite came on, and I think it altered it a little bit.
It did.
Well, let's not go too deep into the Norwich game because we've still got to chew the cud over that one after the break. Concerns, though, other concerns were about a quarter of the way through the season now when you start to take a look at the league table and think it's starting to take shape now. You've got Cardiff flying, Leeds were up until the Cardiff defeat. We're now quite a chunk of points behind. Are there any concerns there, or are there still, as the Borough boss said in his press conference, lots of football to be played?
Well, we were tipped to be the contenders, to be up there all the time. I think we're 8 points from the top now. And I know it's early in the season. What have we played, 11, 12 games, something like that or something? And I still think that, we've probably got time to get up there. But as it's going down, we just seem to be dropping. I just don't know where we're going to go because, Cardiff, who'd have thought Cardiff top of the league, Leeds top of the league. It's just we were the contenders. Everybody was tipping us. All the football pundits on the shows, on the television and things like this were tipping us to be up there. But it just can't seem. We can't be going like we're doing, giving away goals early, then having to chase our tail to catch them. QPR was the perfect example. And then we go for it again. Then we're lucky if we get a draw like we did at Fulham. We should be absolutely. We've just come from the Premiership. We should be really. And we paid £15 million for Britt. And we should he should be like saying, well, hang on, I just don't know. I just think that, it's slipping, it's starting to slide, and we've got to stop that now. We've got to stop these draws, these, like exactly last night, losing. I think.
We'll come on to last night very shortly. How about you, Kev? Are you concerned, or is there still far too much football there to be concerned about?
I think there's too much football to play. Obviously, we've got Brentford at the weekend, and hopefully, that'll be 3 points, and then we'll be back in the swim. But I do feel Gary Monk is still not sure on his best 11. There's been a lot of changes, and maybe some of the players who thought they were first name choice on the team sheet he's shuffling his pack, isn't he? And maybe once he gets to know who is the best player in certain positions, then we can settle down. And he's got, I know he's an old head, but we've got Ledbetter to come back.
Yeah.
And he was on the bench but recovering from an injury. And I think he would have given us something the other night.
And this is something I want to come on to after the break, which we've got to take now. But does Gary know his best team? We'll have a chat on that very shortly. But time for a break here on Red Army. Come on, Borough. Can you imagine it sitting at the Riverside? Come on, Borough. Fulham, it's very gay. Right, here's Sam with the social media.
Let's take a look at this week's social media, and with a bitterly disappointing performance on Tuesday night, plenty of people took to Twitter to express their views on the defeat against Norwich. Let's start with Bernie Slavin. He tweeted, "It took us 55 minutes to wake up tonight. We created 4 chances, all team efforts. On the night, we were not ruthless or good enough." The 12-man Twitter page expressed their thoughts: "A costly mistake, a glaring miss, and the inability to crack an organised defence. Must do better. Quick out of the blocks, please, Borough." Borough fan Alex Hall, he tweeted saying, "Remember when Reading were bottom half in January and ended up winning the league? Norwich got playoffs with a few months of good form also." Laurie Cox, she also took to Twitter. She tweeted, "We've only lost 3 games and have just come off the back of 7 unbeaten in all competitions. Just chill." Finally, Ian Smith, he tweeted, "We've had an off day, but let's be positive and put it behind us. Win the game on Saturday and tonight will be forgotten." Don't forget, if you want to get in touch with us on social media, use the hashtag RedArmyTV or tweet us at Borough Red Army. Back to you, Dave.
Thanks for that one, Sam. Keep your social media coming in. You can tweet us, you can DM us. Hey, I'm getting in there, aren't I? You can post messages to us. You can do what you like. At Borough Red Army or studio@redarmy.tv is our email address. Let's get your details in. And, of course, you can do hashtag RedArmyTV while we're live on Facebook as well to get your messages into us, just like Dan Gray's done again. Traore, fellas, should be played further forward. Interesting one from Super Brit Assombalonga. I won't do the song. I do it every time I'm sitting in this chair. I might do a bit later, actually. Brit Assombalonga said on Traore, he's a joke. Honestly, words can't describe how good he is. We see it every day in training. I'm just happy he's in our team." So obviously the players like him. The fans absolutely adore him. Are we seeing us playing a little bit? I'll start with you, Kev. Are we seeing now we're playing a bit more to his strengths?
Yeah, sure. I mean, certainly last night, as I said earlier, was the best game that I've seen him play for us in terms of, you know, what he can do attacking. We know last year on occasions he was a bit of a liability if he lost the ball in key parts of the pitch. We know that could be a real negative. But certainly last night was his best performance. And I couldn't understand why we took him off, really, because he was the threat. He was the one player that was doing something completely different, and Norwich had to double and sometimes triple up, and there was one time when he beat 3 players, just speed of thought and a turn. So certainly I would have liked to see him come further forward down the centre. And you know, Assombalonga, I think we know he's going to get 15-20 goals, but last night wasn't his. It just wasn't working for him. So we could have even made that switch there. The 2 big centre halves for Norwich did a job on him, really. Certainly I think Monk's got to work out other ways of playing the key players that can unlock the defence. So certainly I'd like to see him in those key areas in the pitch.
Okay, I'm going to do it. Do Brit Assombalonga. Dave, should we be doing a little bit more with Traore, or are we starting now to do enough with him?
Well, I think he's been with us he's a couple of seasons now. He's sort of come on. When he first arrived, I don't think he was that good. It was his final ball, or he'd lose a ball, he'd go too far and someone would get him. But I agree with what Kev said. As soon as he got the ball, they knew to double and triple on him. And when he wriggled out, he was coming down the north. He was down at the north end, and when he did that right kick, and the goalie went and actually caught it. I mean, at one point we were all shouting, "Pass it, pass it," and he didn't. He tricked his way through, and then he just somehow he managed to get. And he was unlucky with that. And I just think he does bring a different thing to that side and whatever. But you may be right. He maybe does need to maybe pop a little bit further. But that was nice for Brit to say something like that about him, that they obviously do like him. And I do like him, McKay. I mean, he played about 15 or 20 minutes of really good football last night.
And we started passing a corner. He would come short for the corner.
Right, yeah.
And we'd play that to him, and we're trying a few different things.
And the problem is he's that small, but he's really stocky. And so is Brit and stocky. And like Kev said, the two big defenders were just on him straight away. They couldn't get out of it.
And they did a number on him as well, because they're taking it in turns to foul him, and the referee picked up on that and started giving the cards out. Obviously, it was a disappointment. It was a 1-0 defeat at the hands of Norwich. And as per usual, and thanks to MFC for this, we get our cameras into Gary Monk's press conference after the home games at the Riverside. This is what the gaffer had to say about that Norwich defeat.
I look frustrated, of course. You know, we all are. The players are as well, and I think we paid the price of gifting them a goal. Something, definitely a lesson that needs to be learned, especially from recent weeks where we've done that. And of course, you know, in other games where we've done that, we've had the character and determination and got ourselves back in to the game and get back into it. But you can't continually do that, and we've done it too many times, especially in recent weeks where we've gifted a goal to the opposition. I think you could see clearly then for the rest of the game that their game plan was just to set with everyone behind the ball in their 18-yard box, and then for us to try and break them down. And second half we did a lot better in those situations. We created a few chances where realistically we should have scored from, but you know, too many times we didn't quite deliver that right ball. We didn't quite have that right last pass in that final third, but we definitely did enough to take something from this game.
The gaffer definitely disappointed then, as we all were, and a good friend of mine, when he saw what was being plastered around the screens of the Riverside Stadium, slapped a tenner on Norwich to win. I don't know whether you spotted it at the Riverside last night, but it was Borough haven't lost at home on a Tuesday night in a league game for 27 games. Last defeat was 2011 against West Ham 2-0. And as soon as you see that, and I think even on BBC Teaser's commentary they were going on about it, on the Borough website they were going on about this record, and Gary Monk hasn't lost on a Tuesday night. My mate just went, hey, put me a tenner on Norwich. and he won. He's taken 30 quid plus his tenner back off the bookies. So it just shows you how you can tempt fate. But let's talk about that game, fellas. We've already touched on it didn't look like it was going to be a Sombalonga's night. Kev, you weren't happy with the corners, and we had plenty of them.
We had plenty of them, and the majority, if not all of them, were, you know, long corners. Why don't we do something different? Why don't we do a short corner, and you know, you've got two players, then the corner kicker can feed it to the other player. You can do little 1-2s, and you're bringing in the ball from a different angle. I think there was only twice where the last one of the game where Ben Gibson was unlucky and it went in the side netting. And the other thing that I noticed was there was 2 or 3 occasions where our corner led to a counter-attack at the other end, which on another day could have got, on another evening, could have gone against us. So I'd like to see, I don't know what happens in training, but I think, you know, if you've got that many corners, you need to create a point of difference and not just roll out the same.
We're putting the long corners in to small guys against bigger guys.
And he had a laggy keeper. I mean, he looked a bit like a pipe cleaner. There's not a picking on him,
but
he was
from
tall.
Man City, that keeper? Isn't he a loan from Man City? But
he had a good game, actually. He was very solid.
I mean, like that Brit when he headed it and he went straight to the keeper. You know, he should have been down. You know, just things where how he got it in the first place, he was just totally unmarked. But the big lads in the middle were just, they knew how to handle them two little, you know, they just seemed to know what they're doing. As if they've done a lot of research on us and thought that's where we need to stop that, you know.
Well, let's get some more views from the fans then. Mark was out and about with his camera after the game on the bridge. As you come out of the Riverside, that's where you'll find him. These are your fan rants after Norwich.
Poor game, to be honest. Really, we deserved more. We deserved more from that game, but obviously Norwich came with lots of attacking emphasis, lots of defending. Came to play for a point. Unfortunately, they got more than 1 point. So overall, it was a poor game, but I'm going home a bit annoyed now. So
I thought we were quite poor, really. And if we can't beat a team like Norwich, then.
Bit disappointed, really, just to say the least. I thought Norwich actually held on pretty well. We weren't really strong enough, we weren't really fast enough going forward. Had a couple of chances, but we have to do better, really.
Have a look out for Mark. He wears a white sort of high-vis vest with redarmy.tv on, and he looks like a para. Because he was, so don't mess with him. Just tell him what you think. Couple of bits of homework to do. England-Scotland under-21 international coming to the Riverside on Friday the 6th of October for the UEFA under-21 European qualifiers. Pete McWatt, thank you for... what did he do? He didn't retweet because he was on Facebook. He shared that thing on Facebook, so well done, Pete, well done, mate. I'm a dinosaur when it comes to social media, I tell you. So you've won that family pack of tickets, 2 adults, 2 children. We'll get your details from you, mate. And also, don't forget the Barnsley bus. Yes, we are taking a Red Army coach to Barnsley. 4,500 tickets or something like that available, so we're expecting a nice, big, full, chunky bus. More details on redarmy.tv. Have a look at that link at the top which says Match Day Travel. Fellas, it's predictions time. We've got, it's Brentford, isn't it, the weekend? What do you reckon, Dave? Scoreline?
I'd like to think it'd be 3-0.
3-0 Borough?
I think so, yeah.
Where you going, Kev?
2-0.
2-0 Borough?
2-0 Borough.
Britta Sombalonga is going to be on song, is he? Britta Sombalonga. Tell you what, fellas, just before we go out, come on, Borough. Gentlemen, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. We'll catch you next time you're on the Red Set E. See ya.